poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And today we're taking a look at another film review. Me and my girlfriend have recently watched another film. We've watched Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And it is 2023, year of indie products and remakes. We have remakes and sequels left, right, and center. We have a Transformer soft reboot where they're trying to reboot the franchise for a new generation of kids. We have another Indiana Jones movie, which is trying to bring back the franchise, which bombed. We have an Aquaman sequel, a Guardians of the Galaxy sequel, Captain Marvel sequel. It is literally just the year of sequels. We are literally getting nothing new this year, and everything that has been new, like Secret Invasion, has been abominably shit. So it is a very bad year for movies in Hollywood this year, I am going to be honest. And I genuinely forgot this movie came out. So when me and my girlfriend watched it, I was like, holy shit, this sucks. This isn't the Transformers I remember. So, let's get into it. Optimus Prime and the Autobots team up with a down-on-his-luck young man, an aspiring historian, and a powerful faction of Transformers known as the Maximals to combat a sinister force from outer space that threatens the Earth and all of mankind. So, the film starts out with the Maximals on their planet, which is basically Autobots, which have evolved slightly different to take the shape of animals instead of cars. Then we have Galactus, the guy who eats worlds, but the Galactus from the Transformers universe, not the Marvel universe. It's a big planet that eats other planets, and he has 3 little minions who he sends down to the planet to conquer it before he comes and eats it. The Maximals sent their finest warriors away on a faraway planet, a useless planet, a planet that no one would ever dare go to, Earth. Yep, it's Earth. They sent the Maximals to Earth, and that was thousands of years ago. And now the Autobots are here, and we get introduced to this new guy, and this new guy is basically Ant-Man. He's poor, he can't get a job, and he sort of does crime to get by. So he signs up for a job to steal a car. He steals that car unsuccessfully. He gets chased by the police, the guards, and the people who own that car. And that car is actually the new character. He's the new Transformer. He is, I forgot his name. He's the blue one. And he starts taking over and driving himself instead of letting the human drive. He then takes him to an abandoned warehouse where they meet Bumblebee, the new motorbike girl, Optimus, and that's pretty much it. It's just those four. The team has drastically lessened since last time, and it is a soft reboot, so we are getting introduced to these characters again, and Bumblebee still talks with his radio after having his voice fixed at least 3 times. They then set off to find this sort of artifact that they need to get to go home, and they end up using the human to do it, because obviously he has to steal it from a museum. And there's this girl who is working late at the museum, obviously the worst day to work late, and she's working on this artifact, and she sees that it's been used throughout history, because the Maximals brought it to Earth. Shit then goes down. Shit goes down very quickly, because the 3 robots sent to Earth to get this thing by the Earth Eater arrives at the museum. So the human calls on backup, and these 2 humans are now in the midst of an Autobot war. It is 4 Autobots versus 3 bad guys, and the 3 bad guys end up winning. I don't know how, but there is a really cool ninja one that shows up, and he's my favorite out of the villains. He just, I don't know, it's like a ninja. He fights with a massive sword. What's not to enjoy? They end up losing part of the artifact because it has 2 different parts. Of course it does. An eagle shows up who believes she's the last one of the Maximals and takes them to Brazil, I believe, where they meet the rest of these bots after sending the humans down a giant mine shaft. They end up in the jungle. Bumblebee dies. He gets killed by the 3 people, and it's all this dramatic stuff. I cried. Bumblebee's my favorite, so I'm upset that he's gone. We then have the villains start up the operation and take the other half of the thing and get ready for their boss to eat the planet. They then have an all-out battle. Bumblebee comes back to life. And then, for whatever reason, Iron Man appears. The human and the blue Autobot combine. Yes, he turns into a power suit for him, and it basically looks like Mega Man and Iron Man combined. It is extremely weird, it looks extremely janky, and the CGI here goes to shit. They then beat the bad guy. The big planet eater leaves for whatever reason, and that's pretty much it. That's the end of the movie. Wow. I think the Autobots and the Maximals look great. Their character design is impeccable. I love the CGI on it, and they look really cool. And my favorite is the Cheetah, and my favorite of the Autobots is Bumblebee. So each one of them looks really cool. All the battles are really nice, except for the last one. Every other battle looks really cool. The explosions look good. The sort of special effects for where they are is incredible. The acting from the Autobots is good. I like the acting from the robots more than the humans. The acting from the humans is a little weird, again, understandably, because you are acting in front of nothing and more nothing. It is horrendously green screened, and because I don't mean it's green screened bad where you can sort of see the outline on the characters. I mean it's green screened and blue screened bad because you can tell that they're looking at nothing. They're just staring off into space, trying to find something to look at because they're not actually there. So that's another nitpick I had. It's very similar to Ant-Man Quantumania, where you can tell that they're just in like this big blue room and there's naturally nothing around them. It's very off-putting and takes you out of the movie a little bit, especially when you're looking at it and you can tell that there's nothing there for them. It just sort of ruins the experience of the movie a little bit. And other than that, that's like a couple of my nitpicks, and it's all based around the humans. I feel like the humans play a massive role in this when they really aren't needed. If I'm being honest, after the heist, like the heist in the museum, the humans aren't needed. They're not useful, like, for the rest of the movie. They're not needed for the rest of the duration of the movie. So I don't get why they keep them around or have a major focus on them. It's just really stupid. Like, I do get it. There is, like, in Godzilla, they focus on humans. In any movie with massive CGI characters, they have to have some humans in there. Like on Sonic, they focus on the humans way too much as well. And, you know, I would love to see giant robots battling each other for, like, an hour and a half where I can just turn my brain off and watch it. I do like a good story, too. The story for this isn't that great. And it's saying something when I tell you that the voice acting is a lot better from the robots than it is from the humans. Like, these robots are acting so much better, and that's because voice actors don't deserve the credit they deserve. Like, voice actors are very underrepresented and under sort of treated. They're not seen as proper actors when they should be, because some voice acting roles are incredible. I love majority of like video game voice actors because they put like their heart and soul into it. And the human characters in this movie don't. And the CGI is good all the way through it until the end, when it's that sort of Autobot human hybrid. That weird Mega Man type shit towards the end that completely caught me off guard. It took away from the seriousness of the moment where Mirage was dying. That's what he's called. He's called Mirage. When Mirage was dying and sacrificing himself, it really took away from the moment because of how bad it looked and how off-putting it looked. They've never done this in Transformers before. I don't get what this sort of new situation is, where Mirage is now like a Mega Man suit for this guy. It felt really out of it. It didn't feel like Transformers anymore. It felt like something else. It felt like the MCU. It feels like they're trying to make it more superhero instead of the action Transformers that it once was. And I don't know, I guess they're just trying to throw things at you to make you sort of nostalgic for the cartoon. Because we've had the dinosaurs, we've had the Megatron, we've had the Knights, and now what else do you do? We do animals. So we have the animals, but I don't know where else they can go from here. Unless every character gets a human sidekick to become Iron Man with. we've sort of moved away from Bumblebee now as well, and going to more towards Mirage being the new face of Transformers, because before it was Bumblebee and his human sidekick with Optimus Prime in the background, but now it's Mirage with Bumblebee and Optimus Prime in the background. So I sort of feel a little betrayed, because I do like Bumblebee, and I did like his connection with Shia LaBeouf. I felt like the Shia LaBeouf human side was more involved with the story and a lot more interconnected, and it felt needed. It felt like it should have been there, whereas this new character feels like he's just been placed here for a human character to be here. And I don't really like that. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. So I am going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. It deserves the half marks that it gets, because it isn't the perfect Transformers movie. It's the worst Transformers movie out of the lot. I will give it that title, the worst Transformers movie, as it deserves, as it's crowned. But, you know, it's still Transformers. You still get robots fighting each other. It still looks cool, for the most part, mainly the first hour. And towards the end, it does start to lose it a little bit, but what can you do? It still looks good. And I feel like Bumblebee was way too much marketed for what he's in this movie, because he spends half the movie dead. I feel like they marketed him because Bumblebee was the face of Transformers before, so if they like sort of drew people in with Bumblebee, I felt like it was a little stab to the back, a little stab to the stomach, where it was like, hey, here's Bumblebee, look at Bumblebee. He's not actually in the film. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's what I felt like this film was. And other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. See you all next one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. And let me know in the comments below what movie you want me to review next. Alright, bye-bye.